And you're watching Abundance Show. And today we've got a gem of a person with us. This is Carrie. Carrie, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Zafar?
Great, thank you so much. And I really please accept my heartfelt gratitude for coming to my show and be abundant and tuning yourself into abundance and tuning the whole globe into abundance. Carrie, please give us your life journey.
Well, I've lived a kind of long life, so I'll give you a thumbnail of it. But I have been someone who's always sought to see beyond what's right in front of us, even as a child. Um, and when you grow up that way, and you see things, and you see story in everything, um, you 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 also find pain and suffering. In that everybody wants to guide your story, and so that was my life, and I did a lot of things that weren't aligned with me as I was finding what I'm aligned to, and then somewhere along the line I found movies, and even as a kid, movies expanded who I was. The stories let me know that there's something more to life which I already had understood, but I didn't see it anywhere. And so it took me a long time to figure out that that's what I wanted to do, is to make movies. I tried a lot of things and into being an adult, a young adult. And then that changed one day when I woke up, oddly enough, and I realized, oh, people who make movies aren't special or magical. They're just people, and that you could do that too. And I was in my mid 20s when I figured that out. And so I I studied film, film studies though, not filmmaking, because I wanted to know why people made films, what their importance was, because that's what I had felt, how important they were to me. I wanted to understand why the people making them um, felt that too, and what they were trying to say. And that started my journey in this world that isn't really fulfilled, because at some point I didn't fully make it in Hollywood. I was there, I did a lot of stuff. I won some awards, not for feature films like I wanted to. And just like all things in life, you come to a point and you recognize, oh, maybe this world isn't for me. Maybe this isn't what I should do, because the world seems to be telling you something, and you hadn't learned, I hadn't learned about abundance and about truth. And so that's the journey to this point. I mean, it's filled with a lot of other stuff too. Um, that stuff about the pain and suffering when you don't seem to fit in. Um, but now I understand that's the journey of my life, and those were things that I got to go through and got to understand more about myself and more about the world and the universe and how it works and abundance, and so here I am. And I'm working on a new project. It's a screenplay that we're working to turn into a movie, and the title of it is "Sing Your Song." And that came to me um, 3 years ago as I awoke to the understanding that I'm here to make movies. I have a lot to say. I have a lot of skills and talents that I worked on, that were given to me, and story runs through me, and I truly live my life like a movie. It's my perspective on things. I don't know what's coming next. Just like in a movie, we don't know what's happening in the next frame of film. That's the excitement of it. And so, living that way, or as much of that way as I can, I've come across some amazing people who are on this journey, you being one of them. Um, my partner in business, Jenlin. Um, yeah, so we are creating a new way to do movies, a new way to touch back to cinema. And it relies on a lot of the old ways because, nothing in essence is really true, is actually new, not true, is not new. What's true and what's new is that our unique perspectives um, on what has already been done, what has already been told, what new story to tell. And so I think this is really important because the world is so filled with magic, the magic of possibilities and potentialities, and I'm just excited to do that, to create this movie, and we're doing it with people first. It's not it's about people, it's for people, it's with people, and that is my story to this point.
Wow. Yeah, when I started this global abundance organization, and I was very skeptical as low self-esteem also, and it was like I was not believing in the idea. And I asked a question to my mentor: How will it happen? That abundance, how will abundance happen? How will I be abundant, and how will I tune everyone in my circle into abundance? He asked me, when you're in rain, when it is raining and you are there in the rain, what happens? I said, one gets all wet if you're not having umbrella or if you're not wearing raincoat. So you get all wet. This is what he said. This is what is going to happen with you. And Carrie, believe me or not, talking to you and talking to people like yourself, I mean, I really feel that rain, like all that the blessings of abundance happening on me. Look, I mean, we just met out of blue, nothing planned. We never studied together, or we never worked together, or we never lived together, and we are civilizations apart. We are 1,000 miles apart. There is no chance of coming across. I mean, we can't cross our paths at all. So more I talk to the people globally, and I find gem of them. And you are again the one, and Jenlin, and what you are doing is really really amazing. This is much more than just a podcast or a video. What you are the global narrative builder. You are singing not only your song, but you are enabling everyone to sing one song. So please, I mean, shed a light on sing your song and being the global narrative builder. How did this idea hit your head?
Yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful. And
beautiful.
I,
And
I
I
So sorry. This
I'm
time
so
cold, just more colds are hitting me today. I'm so sorry. Okay, back to you.
okay.
okay.
So uh,
So um,
yeah, there
yeah, there
there there seems to be an
there
echo.
seems to be an echo.
Can you go again, please? I didn't get
Sure,
you.
Sure,
absolutely. I
absolutely.
think there's still an echo.
There's still
I'm
an echo.
hearing an
I'm
echo.
hearing an echo.
Okay, my
And
question. I'll repeat my question. That sing your song. One question about sing your song. Please share, elaborate it in details. One, and second is Since you're a narrative builder, global narrative builder, tell us more about this. Both the things. Sing your song and your narrative. Your that you build the narrative globally.
Right, right.
Sure.
So, Sing Your Song
Sing your
is a
song
movie I
is a
wrote that we are trying to bring to the screen in a different way, and that different way is to get out of the system because there's so many gatekeepers and there's so many stories that don't reach people that need to reach people. And so this movie Sing Your Song came through me. I wrote it, and I realized when it was done that it was its own thing. You know, everything that we create becomes something of its own. I don't know if it's fully sentient. That people look at it that way, but it does become its own thing, and it in some ways talks. It talks to me, not necessarily in a way that seems woo woo or whatever people say. It just knows what it wants to do as a story, just like all of us do when we have a story. We know what it wants to do, it guides us. So, Sing Your Song has guided me to a lot of people. It's guided me to find a new way to bring movies to people globally and to bring them together around movies so that we can celebrate what can be entertaining and enlightening all in one. Um, and at the same time, a movie's it's not just a movie, but the fun part of going to a movie and to do it with people together in the cinema and to have that primal human experience of storytelling all together, um, that's powerful. That power shifted me from for my whole life. It helped me, and I developed a lot of skills and talents and understanding on how to do this. And so that's what we're working on. And what we're working on is gathering people because we want to have a million persons premiere on when the movie is made. We want to gather a million people over a weekend to see it because not for the sake of money and making money. Money is something that's abundant and it's everywhere and it will sustain it. But a movie wants people to see it. It wants to impart a fun story that might open some meaning for people. And that's what we're doing. But we're doing all of this. We're planning this premiere even before the movie is funded and made because when a lot of people get behind something and support it, abundance just happens. All the things needed will happen. All the resources come. They come through synchronicities just like us. They come from spaces you don't know. Uh, uh, Um, and trying to determine exactly how something is or should be is not really what humans do, in my opinion. It's not how stories come to us. It's not why you're doing a podcast. It's not. It's the example you said about the rain. It just happens. Things happen moment by moment. So, and if your eyes are closed, you don't get to see the opportunity like our opportunity of a synchronistic way to do it. You can just ignore people because you're narrow minded and you're focused on this has to happen and that has to happen before I'm happy. But for me, movies show us that that's not the truth. Frame by frame, and I mean frame by frame, I mean each frame of film that's projected onto the screen, something new is going to happen. And when we're watching movies, that's the beauty of them. We see them that way. We see, oh, I don't know what's happening next. And we're not surprised by what happens next. Sometimes we're surprised, but we're not surprised by the act of something happening next because that's just what humans are and how we live life, and it's beautiful. So that's what we're doing. We're creating the whole business based on the way movies work and the way Sing Your Song talks to me. The story story itself is sort of guiding how we do the business, because in its essence, a story is about people understanding more and more about who they are in the world. And a business should be created that way, human first, right? So that's the story of Sing Your Song. We are, and there's a lot we're doing with it. We're connecting with organizations. We have a project with a loving organization, which is a nonprofit that is bringing love into the world of healthcare, so businesses can run more lovingly, so everyone involved can feel love, so there's no doctor burnouts, there's no nurse burnouts, the patients are cared for. And that's how we're doing it. Wherever there's alignment, we're just connecting with that alignment, and we're spreading it out, because we need conduits to gather the people who can support, the people who say, hey, that's a really interesting idea, let's do that. And we're doing things to do that. With the Loving Organization, we have a movie club that's just starting this month, where we're watching a movie, not my movies, just a movie. And we're talking about the power of film and how it can determine how we see the way our lives are, who we really are, help discover that and uncover that, because of the power of story. You know, the power of story holds us through conditioning, covers up who we really are. It also can release us from all of that when we learn a story is a story. That's all it is. Everything I'm creating is just a story in my mind about who I am. And if I start to see other people or characters in a feature film who awaken me to, oh, maybe I'm not exactly like that. Maybe I'm like this. And the exploration of that begins. That's when humanity gets moved forward, in my opinion. So that's the tale of
That's
Sing Your Song.
Sing Your Song.
amazing. That's really, really amazing. In one's life, movies do play a basic role. They are the concept builders, narrative builders. Our approach towards life, it's the movies are the guiding. I would say the guiding principle, or since people in my part of the world, people generally do not read books. Now, I mean, almost everyone watch the scroll on swapping the videos and short videos, and it's seldom that people are reading books. Now, it is really, really important for the people like yourself to make the movies of the narratives. So I like to ask, I mean, again, question about the global, since you're a global narrative builder, what do you do?
Well,
Well,
what
what a
I
good,
believe
I
a global
believe a
narrative
global
builder does.
narrative builder
What I
does.
do
What I
actually
do actually
is I create the
is I
story
create the story
that we can
that we
find ourselves in. This is the power of cinema. This is the power of narrative. This is the power of storytelling, is to be able to create something that is accessible for all humans, to see a part of themselves in it. And this is universal. This is um, humans have been telling stories for we have them documented for millennia, right? So it's a matter of just saying, here's a new story that might open you up to who you really are, um, and that's what a global narrative world builder
world builder
is.
is.
It's
It's
create
someone who
stories
creates stories
that anyone
that
can
anyone
access
can access
and find
and find
themselves in it.
themselves in it.
and attached to
and
maybe the
attached to
characters
maybe the characters.
as
As
for the story.
for the
And,
story, and
and as you said,
as you said,
movies
movies
have a power,
have a
right? I
power, right?
believe
I
people are
believe
reading
people are
books. I
reading
believe we're
books. I believe we're
scrolling, going to
scrolling,
movies.
going to
We're
movies.
doing it
We're
all.
doing it all.
But at the same
But at the same
time,
time,
um,
um,
for certain
for
people,
certain
movies
people, movies
have a great power. You sometimes hear a line that a character says and it changes who you are, or you watch an exciting scene unfold, even if there's no dialogue in that scene, and you recognize, oh, life is happening. Life is happening on this planet. There's many stories to be told. There's excitement, there's emotion, there's all these things in movies, and while you're sitting there watching, you become part of the movie. You become so entrenched in the story that it feels real, and there's a power in that for people to understand who they are as humans. And I believe that understanding can be developed there, and we can move humanity forward through that. And at the same time, it's just entertainment. And so to be able to do both those things, which I think is what storytelling is for humans and has always been, is both entertaining and enlightening about everything. So when we laugh during a movie, some that can be remembered. What happened there can be remembered and applied to yourself as you're going through the world. When we cry, all these things happen during a movie. You know, as an audience member, I've done it. I cry, I laugh, I get scared, all these things, and they reawaken my humanity. And I think this is really important. And one of the other things that Sing Your Song is doing, and there's so much of it, I can't give it all to you in this short segment, but we also, and that's why we started the movie club with a loving organization, we also learn through discourse, through conversation. And so we're also planning to have many conversations about movies and about when Singer and about how a movie can get made and how we can bring that to the people. And that's part of why we're gathering the people before the movie's made, because we want to hear all of that. We want to help each other get there, because the way the movie, when it's made, comes out is as important as the movie itself, as the making of the movie. It's important to find the right spaces. It's important to bring the movie to people, to have it accessible. It's important for people who have difficulties because of um, their unique nature, whether they're hard of hearing, deaf, blind, any of these uniquenesses that people have, these beautiful things, we can find a way that a movie can reach them if we talk about it along the way as it's being made and ignore all of the systematic ways that they try to address things. Um, and this is the beauty of this way we're doing this. And it is really, in essence, it's the story of Sing Your Song. The movie Sing Your Song is about someone who finds their
finds
authentic
their
self
authentic self
after hiding it for
after
a long
hiding it for
time.
a long time.
And so
And so
that's how we need to
that's
make
how
the
we need
movie.
to
That's
make
how
the
we need to
movie.
make
That's
the
how we need
business.
to make
That's
the
how
business. That's how
everybody needs to see
everybody
it.
needs to see it.
Wow, Kerry, the power of movie. I can give you one instance from my life. There is a movie Golden Eye. You know, Golden Eye. It was like probably in early 2000, just beginning of the 2000 year 2002 maybe. And there is a one scene. There is a boy. The boy is not the hero, but he is supportive character for the hero, and he's clicking up toggle pen, click click click, and in with one hand he's typing on the keyboard. It could be a camera trick, it could be any trick, but you know, that scene struck my head, and it was like same time now. Like I mean, it's like my time is around it's 9:30 p.m. Same time I was all done with my whole day work, and I was just done with even my dinner and everything. So I was watching the movie, and this scene, you know, this scene struck my head. I said, "Come on, I cannot type with both with 10 fingers, both of hands." And this champ is doing with one hand, and he's talking also, and the things are they being typed there. So this took my head, and early before it was sunrise, you won't believe I was typing. I practiced that whole night, and I could not sleep. It was so powerful. That one scene could change one's life. So till then and today, I am typing without looking at keyboards, and this was so amazing. And look, I mean, otherwise, I mean, look, in our part of the world, since from 80s, 1980s, late 80s, early 80s, we've got this everything, this media, and so now the people have changed their lifestyle. They are living as people are living in Hollywood, in maybe in UK or other part of the world. They build their homes alike. They eat alike. They wear alike. So they similar. So this movie making, since you are putting all attention to all details, be the minute ones, and you are playing with the psychology, and you're taking the whole story from zero to the apex of it. And the people are crying, laughing, you said, I mean, he's feeling scared also. So this is such a powerful medium. So, okay, now my question is, I was just going through your profile. You have done bachelor's in movie making from California universities, I suppose.
Yeah, not movie
Yeah, not
making
movie
actually,
making actually.
film
Film
theory,
theory,
which is
Film,
more like
which is
a
more like a
humanity degree.
humanity degree.
It's about
what's
It's
that?
figuring
about figuring out.
Yeah, I'll tell
I
you.
like
Yeah,
to
I'll tell you.
start. I mean, I like
Yeah,
to start
Yeah,
from that there. I mean, since you were a boy, a young man, and you studied the same thing, and then you practiced. Okay, tell us
yeah,
the story.
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
so
So
I
I
understood,
understood.
for me, movies are important. I need to understand the language of them. I need to understand. So a film theory degree or and studies degree is about looking at movies like you would look at a book. Like when you're in any class, doesn't matter the language you are, you read these famous books and then you study what they're about. Well, that's what we did with movies because movies have the same power. And for me, that was more important than learning how to make movies because one, I'm philosophical, and two, the power that's in the movie I understood. If I could understand the language of why people are doing this, how they affect us, then the techniques of movies I could learn. It's much like your beautiful example. And first of all, I want to thank you for that example because that's the examples that everyone has from movies. They see one and something triggers in them something amazing and it impacts their life. So I appreciate that you shared yours. Um, the thing is, I could learn the techniques just like you learned how to type from seeing a movie. I didn't learn them. Well, partially I learned them from studying movies because you start to break down movies and see what the director and the crew and the cast they're all doing. That's part of it. But I actually then knew I could go and get real life experiences doing that, which I did. And so the 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 film studies, the theory about them was far more vital to me because I wanted to understand the power that storytelling and cinema has on individuals and people as a whole.
Wow, great. And how would you like to just enlighten us on your experience with Hollywood?
Sure. So in
Sure. So
Hollywood,
in Hollywood,
I worked in a
I
lot
worked in
of
a lot of
areas trying
areas
to get
trying to
to
get
the
to
point
the
where
point
I would
where I would
be able to make
be able to.
feature films myself. And I wrote, I directed a lot of music videos. I directed some documentary. I did a lot of live theater, all in LA. I worked with stand-up comedians. I wrote a bunch of scripts with people, some of which had been sold. But for some reason, I it's not for some reason. The reason I could never break through as a director because I couldn't compromise the power of story that Hollywood wanted that. And I was living under a false assumption that I could. And I was living under the false assumption, which is that somehow I don't know how to translate that or to say that in order to make it happen. I didn't know how to even tell people I would compromise on story. I just couldn't do it. And it took me years and years to figure out the truth, which is that wasn't a problem with me. That was a problem with the system. They were looking for something that I'm not looking for. They were looking for movies that made money and didn't necessarily tell stories. They're not mutually exclusive. I mean, you can do both, and even in Hollywood it happens. But I just never could quite do that. So I went. Everything else after that I did. I'd made a little movie outside of the system. I did sell it to a distributor, but then it just still was part of the system, and so I actually decided to leave that journey for a period of time. And then I was awakened, and Sing Your Song filled the void of that awakening. It told me uh, that I wasn't the problem, that I needed to create a new system, a new way to do this. And so after I wrote the movie, that's been my journey. And I found Jen Lin, and I'm talking to a lot of people, and that's how creation happens. That's how story happens. Um, it's not always you that's the problem, and this I wish more people knew. It is that you uh, think the system is set and that you don't have a say in it. But abundance is everywhere, so you can just create outside of the systems you don't like. We humans, all of us, the people, are the systems anyway. So that was a hard, beautiful lesson I learned from working very hard and trying to break into Hollywood, only to find out I didn't really want to be there because it didn't fit me.
Wow. There's always difficult paths in all heroes. You're a hero of your own journey, and everyone is so. So what you have deduced is awesome. That you are changing people's life, and you want to do something for the good, for the betterment of the humanity. So since I've been talking to you, it's like, I mean, probably this is third time we are speaking to each other, and I did not find anything that is pulling you towards money, or you are pulling yourself towards money. So you are the person of impact. You and Jinlin, both you are doing amazing tasks. Is there any possibility that we can work for a movie on abundance, on the concept of abundance? Just because I believe all the problem in the world are just because of scarcity of our thinking. So scarcity no, is not necessarily the real one. It could be somebody could be very rich, but still scarce here. A country could have lot more, but still be scarce, so that it attacks on a smaller one or the weaker one. And a person could have billions of dollars in his bank or in his custody, but still he would rob, still he would go for corruption or so. So the scarcity is not necessarily having least amount of anything, but for sure here the problem between 2 years, that's scarcity. So we need to shift this scarcity mindset towards positive. And again, it's not only limited to only countries, organizations, individuals, or this part, but again, to our part, like any person, the why the third world countries like mine one, we are not prospering is just because of our mindset. We are habitual of thinking negative. So once whatever we keep focusing, that's bound to happen. If I focus failure, so failure is bound to happen. If I mean, focusing on success, I have a growth mindset. I'm positive. And all the time I'm learning. So I'll get so the abundance is bound to happen. So how about that? I mean, is there anything in your future projects that you think that on certain idea, maybe directly, indirectly, or somehow connected, you think that you'll be making some movie on that topic?
Well,
Well,
sing your song is
sing your
filled
song
with
is
all of that.
filled with all of that.
Yeah. So the topic of all these topics will be in all of my movies. They'll just be in a different form. But sing your song literally is about someone who lives in scarcity for many decades before they even want to look at who they are or what they can do in the world. Um, and it's about getting prompted to have that self conversation, that self examination from an unlikely source for the person. So yes, I mean, yeah, of course, that's all of it, and there's more because, in truth, what you're saying is um, uh, this one aspect of being truly human is abundance versus scarcity. But everything, like you said, is a story of the mind. It's a story of the mind. And so all of my stories will contain all of that every time because that is the most human thing there is. And for me, that is the reason for storytelling. And it can be found in a lot of movies. And at the same time, I'm dedicated to telling new stories about that, to find uniquenesses, unique characters going through this human existence that, like the child you mentioned from Goldeneye, um, aren't what everybody seems to think they are. Because that's, to me, what being human is. We aren't what we seem to think we are. We're more than that. We're far more than that. And we just haven't heard that story yet enough to tell that story to ourselves.
Oh wow! Each time you talk and you touch my heart, we are much more than what we think of. For sure, yes. And really, we do not know this machinery. One who's a champion is just like us. The one who is failure is just like us. It's about the matter between 2 ears. It's like gray matter between 2 ears. So this is all about thinking. So that and what you are doing such a powerful during what I'm doing. But your medium is too powerful. Connecting, talking to one person and of the similar mind, networking. This is fantastic. This is phenomenal. And it's like, I mean, it's changing me at least. I mean, I'm tuning into abundance. I was a dead man in 16 months earlier, but right now it's like, I mean, I'm enjoying my life. I have started to think. I mean, I'm rewiring. This whole brain. I'm rewiring just, and this is the world of possibilities. The sing your song. What I think It's a whole complete new paradigm shift. It's like you are giving a world a hope. It's a world of possibilities. I really don't know the exact story just because it's like, it's like as per policy, you can't disclose that. But for sure, what I sense, it's like it's giving the opening the world of possibilities. Those people who think themselves at low esteem, they do not love themselves, but they people are more, much more than this is what you are trying to convince people. Once I'm convinced I'm a better person, so betterment is bound to happen. Whatever I think I am, once I decide, that after decision, that whatever I decide is bound to happen. Like Rinda Biden say, if you conceive anything, with conviction, so it is that is the whole world conspire for you to have to for the happening of anything you have already made a decision. So that's what I mean. What you are doing exactly same. So I'm all there. Anything from me you expect to contribute anything for your mission?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I think
I
everybody
think
can
everybody
come and
can come and
contribute.
contribute.
They can support, even if it's just to say, "Hey, I would like to see a movie like that. I would be one of the million people," and or connect us to other people who are really aligned, who can bring the resources that are needed. But it's not about this straight line thing, though. It's not about, "Hey, do this for us, and we'll do that for you," and none of this. It's just about saying, "This is some." You mentioned the word potential. There's a lot of potential in this. How can people come and share their thoughts on the potential of it, and us have these conversations, these very, very human conversations about how we can create something in the world so that all of us um, can have a more powerful, more
For
beautiful
more
life.
beautiful life.
Thank you, Kerry, so much. I mean, I've taken more than time as I committed.
Yeah,
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Any message to the world?
yeah, I have one
Yeah, I have
message to the
one
world.
message to the world.
Know that you're a
Know that
storyteller and that you can rewrite your story whenever you want. In 1 second, in one frame of film, you can change the life that is your movie. Just have to see that that's possible.
Oh my goodness, such a powerful message that you can change your story. Wow, rewrite your story. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Carrie, for honoring my abundance show, and I'll be featuring you in third series of podcast. And be ready and let me know when you are next available, so that we'll be starting from your childhood, then we'll be taking to wherever you're right now, and then where are you going, and I'll be talking about your moonshots. Thank you so much, Carrie, for honoring my
And
show.
thank you for having
thank
me.
you
It's
for
been
having me. It's
beautiful.
been
I
beautiful. I
appreciate it.
appreciate it.
And I
Stay
And
appreciate
I
our
appreciate our
relationship.
relationship.
Thank you so much, and stay blessed, and bye bye.